Go ahead, Tyrone.
Okay, so Keiko, you can go ahead and commissioners. This has been an ongoing process for the authority since COVID began in March. Again, just to rehash what our response has been and what our priorities are. Residents and employees having their safety at first and foremost, along with keeping residents and also employees informed, maintaining the properties, keeping them clean, and our operations are open. That's really important for us. So this is the way how we've tried to our best based on the ever-changing evolution of this pandemic to keep our residents and employees safe. We've purchased PPE for employees, as we've discussed, along with N95 masks, now part of our maintenance work uniform process. So over 2,400 masks have been purchased, surgical masks, over 2,400 KN95 masks have been purchased, over 350 N100s, and over 400 N95 masks have been purchased and also distributed at the same time to employees and also residents. We've posted and tried our best to keep PSAs alive on our website to ensure that everyone is well aware of what we're doing with our employees and with our residents themselves, our customers. And we've done multiple training sessions for our employees, taking into consideration all the safety measures that are necessary. On the other side, over 9,000 wellness calls to our residents. Those are directed to our seniors and to our family sites, along with 1,800 surveys that we've conducted to find out what is their need. Is it a food shortage? Is it something in terms of technology being necessary for students? Whatever it might be, we've done surveys for that and also made those particular calls. And when we receive information from a resident that there is a need, we would put them in contact with either a different service provider or look to connect them with DCPS or whomever necessary in order to make sure that whatever their need was, that it was actually met by the authority and staff, especially with ORS, our Resident Services Department. We still have the visitor policy that we instituted April 14th. It's still in effect at our senior buildings, meaning that from 7 to 7, we're asking that the only needed individuals come to the property to visit our seniors, a healthcare aide, a family member that offers assistance for medication, and the seniors can have one other visitor that is non-essential visitor. But then after 7 p.m., that ceases, and we try to limit the number of individuals that come in. Unless you're an essential individual giving some type of service to our resident, we are not letting people in. And that has its ups and downs, where some people feel as though they are being kept out of the building for whatever reason to visit their friends. But the safety of our residents is most important. So we're trying to maintain that on a daily basis. We have deep cleaned the headquarters more than once. We've done the air testing. We've done the put sanitizers. We put masks that are being provided to the members that are coming into the office on a daily basis, primarily our OPS staff. These are some of the posters that we have out that we have dedicated in our building, along with posters that we have at our headquarters. And these are just, again, to encourage people to wear masks and different things that we're doing. Each week we push out new content to our employees and to our residents, daily emails, again, the PSAs regarding COVID-19. We've created posters and also videos to show to our employees and to our residents. We've published, since COVID started, we've published 5 monthly HR newsletters and 2 quarterly Housing Choice Voucher newsletters that we've gotten out to our customers. We've issued 7 press releases during COVID, along with using social media to get our message out. And we've dedicated our landing page with directors' letters, FAQs, and also other waivers that we have sought and received from HUD. And we've also held 3 employee town halls and multiple meetings with the labor unions. Again, this is how we're keeping our properties clean, commissioners, and to the public. What we've been doing over the last 4 to 5 months, 6 months actually, we've been cleaning our properties, our family properties, at least 2 times a day, AM and PM, in the common areas, and 3 times a day in the senior buildings. Again, common areas. We've enhanced the cleaning in the common areas and locations where we know there's high traffic, people walking through periodically all throughout the day. We've completed over 7,000 emergency work orders. Again, we did not stop. We did not stop doing emergency work orders, and we've deep cleaned over 20 of our properties 4 times, senior properties 4 times. We've also installed the Purell stations for hand sanitizing. We've maintained our grounds for curb appeal, and we've also installed plexiglass at our senior sites and public safety booths. And we've also instituted and came off of the staggered schedules for PMO, trying to mitigate the spread of COVID among our employees. This is just a picture of us doing a deep clean at one of our buildings. This is something that we were doing periodically throughout the COVID and will continue to do as needed. If there is an issue where there is a resident that is identified as having COVID, we immediately identify a team to go in and do a deep clean in all common areas where that individual lives or where that individual resides. Our sanitation protocol, over 3,000 cleanings to date at all of our buildings, families with common areas, and senior properties. And these are some of the things that we do to do that. You can hit the next one, Keiko. Thanks. Commissioners, this is sanitizers and, okay. Now we're on to making, Keiko, stay on one or the other for me. Okay. These are the sanitizing machines that we're using at our buildings and also at the headquarters, along with the temperature gauge machines that we have at headquarters to gauge an individual coming into the building, whether or not they had a temperature. Because remember, as this is fluid, one of the big pieces was whether or not an individual has a high temperature might be an indicator of COVID. So we purchased that particular equipment that you see on the right. The 2 pictures on the right are 2 kiosks, 2 machines that do temperature gauge through face recognition, or the one that's red does it through body heat as a person walks through the door. The other 2 machines that are on the left-hand side are 2 sanitizing machines that allow us to walk through and quickly sanitize a building or an area with the solution. And we have multiple of those machines at the properties. Getting ready for a return. Now, we don't know when a full return to work will occur, but we are prepared for it when it does arise. We've created our customer solution center that we've shown you pictures of to allow for social distancing when residents come in. And we've installed plexiglass in all the departments, along with, again, putting up posters to remind everyone about COVID safety. We've reconfigured actually the Housing Choice Voucher workspace to look more like a WeWork environment, shared space where employees can come in and leave, and then the next employee can come in the next day to use that same space. We are using a cleaning team is still on board here at the headquarters. They are still cleaning the building throughout the day. We've also installed our Safe Pass machine in the lobby area. That's a larger machine to catch temperature, sanitize, and ensure that there's mask compliance. So it's almost like a metal detector that you actually will walk through, commissioners. I don't know if we have a picture in this particular slide presentation, but there is a machine that we have that you actually takes your temperature as you begin to walk through. It will sanitize you with a light mist and then ensure that you have a mask on. Operations are open, and as I said before, many times we are running right at about 85 to 90%. There are some things that we aren't able to handle because it does require personal attention, an individual being in the office or dealing with their resident directly through an inspection of some type. But we have been able to go virtual with almost all the other aspects of our operation, that being conducting fair hearings, virtual fair hearings for our residents who have grievances. We've continued our monthly board meetings, as you can see, through a digital platform. We've also established RAD engagements. We've done our RAD engagements at 4 properties already. We'll have another one this evening at Potomac. But we've done that also where we are engaging residents through WebEx, and it has gone pretty well, to say the least. We've also continued using and moving the transformation plan funding of the $39.8 million for fiscal year 20 that we know we need to obligate by the 22nd of September. OCP is still moving forward with that. Working remotely did not deter us from being able to do that. And at the same time, the newly funded source of $50 million in capital funding from the district, we are also putting that into use and preparing for an October 1st funding source. We are still doing, again, relocations during COVID, but remember we talked about our COVID relocations of families that felt uncomfortable with doing that. We would relax that requirement, and they could move at a point in time when they felt comfortable after the pandemic ends. That was one of the waivers that we also put in for with HUD. So our voucher team and relocation team are still setting up, virtual inspections of properties. And remember, we've done over, I think it might be all over 2,500 virtual inspections to date. Through the Housing Choice Voucher Program. We've submitted it to HUD, and it is considered, I believe it's considered the best practice now. We unveiled it again to HUD yesterday at another presentation and discussion with GAO. We've also done, can you just go back, Keiko, please? I'm sorry. And we've also done, over 3,600 households were recertified for voucher subsidy. And another 665 had new vouchers issued to them. So we're still moving our operation forward. There's one thing I know we would be concerned about, and that's, how many residents have done interim recertifications, meaning that there's been a loss of income to their household in some way, shape, or form. To date, 542 individuals, both in the public housing and voucher holders combined, have applied for interim recertifications. Again, OCP is moving forward with the transformation plan. With the new influx of $50 million, we're calling it Transformation Plan 2.0. We'll be talking about that more in September, late part of September, about how we're going to utilize the $50 million and how it actually affects our transformation plan, and allows us to make some really magnificent changes and tweaks to the process to better utilize the money, and also make a direct impact to the conditions in which residents are actually living in now. So we've adapted as best as we possibly could. And down at the bottom, you'll see the installation of security cameras and lights on 10 of the properties. Those are the properties that were highlighted by the OAG, where we're also not only putting in new cameras in those particular locations, we also have 249 cameras that we're replacing throughout the portfolio at the same time. Okay, you can move on to the next. Thanks. PMO again, they have delivered over 14,000 care packages to both families and senior sites. I think we did another one just yesterday of about 3,000 care packages. Those care packages contain, toilet paper, essentials that they might need, hand sanitizers, and also masks in some cases. And we've continued to do that. I do have the opportunity this morning to also announce a new partnership that we actually have with Howard University. Similar to what we've done with George Washington School of Nursing, we're going to be working with Howard University Hospital to do wellness in the community. And that's something that we just signed, we inked yesterday, which I'm very excited about. And I just want you to know, commissioners and to the public, the George Washington Endeavor MOU and the Howard University MOU, those were both initiatives that were created by the Housing Authority. We sought them out to ask about opportunities for wellness. In fact, I talked to Dr. Frederick personally about getting them on board to do a partnership on wellness and health based on the COVID pandemic. So that's something that we took the initiative to do on our own. Okay. If commissioners, if you have any questions or comments, here you go. This is how you reach us. I'm sorry, and that's for the public. Keiko, that might be pretty quick. This is how commissioners, the public, would reach us. They would call us, directly at 202-535-1000 or COVID-19@dchousing.org or www.dchousing.org/coronavirus.
Thank you so much, Director Garrett. Are there any questions on the update for Director Garrett?
I do. I've asked the question before. I see the new partnerships. Why or are you going to reach out to Children's Hospital?
I'm not saying we're not going to. Our first initiative was to deal with GW and also Howard with their particular programs. If we can expand it, we will definitely do so.
Suggest that because of our property, we have a lot of children, and we're dealing with lead, along with this pandemic as well.
Okay, that's not a problem. We can do that.
Thank you.
Director Garrett, can you say more about the arrangement that you have with Howard University? What would the partnership entail, and how would it benefit our residents?
Well, they're actually going to be utilizing space at a few of our properties over in Ward 1. And they're going to be, I do have the ward right? It's Ward 1. They're going to be dealing with us and setting up shop at a couple of the properties there, where they're going to be giving health, not just COVID. This isn't just COVID initiatives, commissioners. This is going to deal with actual health and wellness of our residents who don't necessarily get annual checkups or go to the doctor like they should. This will give them the opportunity to be able to seek medical attention, not emergency medical attention, but natural, medical attention on a routine basis by having Howard set up locally in our buildings.
Good job, Mr. Garrett.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yes.
What I want to go online saying is that on my Facebook page, there's 49 residents that are aware that Mama Safe Haven, a pop-up program under the Alliance of Concerned Men, is willing to pick up our residents and take them to have the COVID-19 test. This information was also Facebook to Denise Blackson of the Citywide Advisory Board, with the intent that she would contact the rest of her elected members. Several of our residents have been picked up by Mama Safe and has been at the Alliance for Concerned Men for the COVID-19. Now, it is the responsibility of leadership. If a leader informs you of an activity that is cost effective, you getting the phone number, and we all lie and say that we are telling our constituents information when we're not, because how are you informing your constituents? You can only inform them by telephone or email or by social media. And social media, what I love about it is it can be tracked and monitored. And the closest public housing to Ward 7 would be Kenilworth, Lincoln Heights, Richardson Dwelling, all in Ward 7, which she is definitely located in. So I would recommend, Mr. Garrett, that you can tell Brian Harris that he can call every resident council executive board, and being that they are calling residents to say, how are they doing? They can give Ms. Smith their number, because the mayor was the one who gave her the grant to provide these services throughout the District of Columbia. Now, if no one is making the call, this don't fault the message. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions or comments from any of our other commissioners?
I have a
On
question.
record, if I can, excuse me, Telefaro, I want to put this on record. The late Denise Stanley, president of Kenilworth, and I, several years ago when I first came on board, we started something which we did. We sent out 10,000 questionnaire health surveys, and what we were trying to do was trying to get all the residents on all of our properties to stop using the emergency room as your primary care doctor and seek one, as well as mental health, behavior health. We were able to get about 15, close to 1,600 returns, where GW professor and Morgan State's professor got with us. We were able to make a book, put it in a formula. And to be honest, this was underneath for Adrian's tenure. It was the first time done by residents, for residents. What happened to the information, I don't know, but I know I thought we had put it in the hands of the Office of Resident Services.
I'll investigate that, Commissioner.
Okay.
I just got a note. I know there was a question by Commissioner Talaferro. I just got another note, a reminder that we did also have a new partnership created with Black Girl Health that deals with mental health and anxiety within our resident population. So that's something else we're going to be talking about a little bit more. And that's a new partnership. We've never worked with Black Girl Health before.
It's great.
Mr. Garrett,
Yes, sir.
I appreciated that you are in with this virus issues going on and you're trying to lead, but you got to understand some of the people under you, some of the tenants don't get the information or not listening. So I see you try to put your hand out to talk to them, but once you like when you came in on the board as an ED, visit properties and talk to the residents yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have an idea of setting that up virtually.
But I give you hands on how you're dealing with this virus. I give you good credit on that.
Thank you. It goes to the staff, Commissioner Talafaro.
I mean, to you and the staff, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Talafaro. I see there are no other chat requests or questions in the chat. I just want to thank everyone for making time on short notice for this emergency board meeting. We will be meeting again in September 9th via WebEx at 1 p.m. I will see some of you tomorrow, hopefully all of you tomorrow at our DevMod meeting. Until that time, our meeting is adjourned. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thank you. Everyone stay safe.
Thank you.